What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, guys, so we are going to continue our coverage over the Dawn of X era of X-Men comics, and we are actually going to pick up with Marauders number 11 and number 12. Now, these two books are actually very important, and the reason why, because it is really the death of Kitty Pryde, but also her return. Now remember, in our earlier videos, Kitty Pryde died. She was killed off by Sebastian Shaw. Now, I'll explain why he killed her off later on in this video. But either way, she was dead. Now, the X-Men do have ways to bring someone back to life. And usually it takes 5 mutants to be able to create a clone body of that dead person. And then Charles Xavier downloads the memories of that dead person into the new clone body. But the problem was, though, every single time they tried to make a clone body of Kitty Pryde, the process would just fail. And so with the process failing, Charles Xavier told Emma Frost they are going to give up for now, meaning that Emma Frost feels like Kitty Pryde should have an actual funeral, because now it seems like there is a possibility Kitty Pryde could never come back to life. And that is why the opening pages is really more of the X-Men saying goodbye to Kitty Pryde, because they're left to believe that there is no way that their dear friend could come back to life, because now she's dead. And Charles Xavier in the 5 have basically told all her close friends, listen, we have tried over and over again, and no matter what, for some strange reason, they are unable to actually bring her back to life. And so they have to stop for now. But again, for all the close friends of Kitty Pryde, they feel like there is no way to bring her back to life. This is goodbye. She's gone forever. And so it's hard on a lot of different X-Men characters that were actually close to Kitty Pryde, like Emma Frost, Iceman, Storm, and Nightcrawler. They all were close to Kitty Pryde, and now they have to say goodbye to her, possibly forever. And really, this is hard for Emma Frost. And it makes sense because when it comes to Emma Frost, she was the one that actually put the team together. She was the one that put the Marauders together, because it was her who went to Kitty Pryde and basically asked Kitty Pryde to form a team to work for the Hellfire Club and to ask Kitty Pryde to lead that team. It was all Emma Frost's idea. And so when it comes down to it, it's Emma Frost kind of blaming herself for everything that has happened so far, the death of Kitty Pryde, because right now she believes again that Kitty Pryde can now never be brought back to life. And so that right there is going to haunt her for the rest of her life. Well, really just for this book. But either way, it's her kind of saying, this is all my fault. I'm a huge failure, and look at me. Now I have basically cost the life of a young lady who really never had the chance to live a peaceful life, because I'm the one who put her out there to be some kind of pirate, and now I got her killed. It's my fault. It's her blaming herself for the death of Kitty Pryde. But that is the moment somebody actually comes to see Emma Frost. And when I say someone, I really mean a dragon. And that dragon is Lockheed. Now, this is very important because remember, Lockheed is actually the pet dragon of Kitty Pryde. But Lockheed was actually with Kitty Pryde when she was being killed off by Sebastian Shaw. Now, we were left to believe that Lockheed had died with Kitty Pryde. But we come to find out he never did die. He actually survived. And he just finally made his way back over to the island. And of course, he went over to Emma Frost. And with him going over to Emma Frost, you do have Emma Frost use her powers to read the mind of Lockheed to figure out how in the world Kitty Pryde died. And that is the moment you have Emma Frost find out that Kitty Pryde was killed off by Sebastian Shaw. And this is huge because Emma Frost knows why Sebastian Shaw did that. Because when it comes to the Hellfire Club is owned by 3 people: the White Queen, the Black King, and the Red Queen. The White Queen is Emma Frost. The Black King is Sebastian Shaw. And the Red Queen was Kitty Pryde. Now, here's the thing though. When you have Emma Frost and Kitty Pryde being best friends, it's technically 2 against 1. And so Sebastian Shaw feels like Emma Frost and Kitty Pryde were really trying to remove him from the Hellfire Club because it's 2 against 1. And so Sebastian Shaw got rid of Kitty Pryde to basically have the Red Queen spot open to put his son in there and to make his son Shinobi Shaw the Red King, so that sooner or later they can push Emma Frost out of the Hellfire Club company. But either way though, now you have Emma Frost knowing that it was Sebastian Shaw, and of course she is going to get revenge against Sebastian Shaw. Now, of course, you do have Emma Frost actually contact Charles Xavier as she takes Lockheed over to the healer of the island so that the healer can basically continue the process of helping Lockheed healed up. But either way, though, you do have Emma Frost ask Charles Xavier to try one more time to bring Kitty Pryde back to life because Emma Frost feels like she might have an idea that could actually work that could possibly help Kitty Pryde finally come back to life. But you do have Charles remind Emma that if they fail one more time, they have to stop for a short period of time because there are other mutants that need to be brought back to life as well. Now, that is the moment we actually get introduced to a new character, and that new character is Dolores Ramirez. Now, Dolores is actually a CIA agent, and matter of fact, she's part of a group called X-Desk, a group of CIA agents, and X-Desk is supposed to keep mutants under control. But right now, we actually see Dolores meeting up with Storm on a subway train, and the reason why these two characters are meeting up is because right now you have Storm basically receiving information from Dolores. Well, really, she's telling Dolores thank you for the information that she had received, because apparently Dolores is giving information over to Storm and the rest of the Marauders as a way to help them bring down Manipur, the country, and also Verendi, that evil organization that has been trying to bring down the Hellfire Club. And so this is really Storm saying thank you to Dolores, but then they go their separate ways. But I do want to say Dolores is going to be somewhat important in later storylines we're going to cover down the road. And that is the moment we actually do jump over to Emma Frost, Nightcrawler, and Charles Xavier asking the Five to try again to bring Kitty Pryde back to life. Now remember, Charles Xavier said this is going to be the last time they're going to try for now because they do have other mutants to bring back to life. And so with that being said, you do have the Five try one more time. Now here comes the problem with the Five. And what I mean is that when it comes to Kitty Pryde, the reason why they're having a hard time is because when it comes to the Five, they make you a new clone body, but that new clone body has to grow inside an egg. And so you stay inside that egg until your body is fully grown. But once your body is fully grown, you then pop out of that egg. But here comes the problem with Kitty Pryde. Every single time they make her a new body and it does fully grow, the body does not pop out of the egg. It just stays in there to the point where the body dies inside the egg. And so that is the moment you have Emma Frost realize something. Because when it comes to these new clone bodies, yes, they are clone bodies, but of course, they need Charles Xavier to download the memories into the new clone bodies. But that comes after the clone body pops out of the egg. And so she realized that when it comes to Kitty Pryde's clone bodies, when they come to life, they have no idea how to control their powers, especially Kitty Pryde, because her power is to phase through everything. And so every single time the Five make a new clone body of Kitty Pryde, the clone is freaking out because the clone has no idea how to control the phasing power. And so you have Emma Frost use her abilities to kind of help the new clone Kitty Pryde learn how to control her phasing power so that she can finally come out of the egg. And with that being said, Kitty Pryde is now alive once again. And then you have Charles Xavier able to download the memories of Kitty Pryde into the new clone body of Kitty Pryde. And of course, you do have Emma Frost tell Kitty Pryde Sebastian Shaw did this. And so now they must plan to take down Sebastian Shaw. And that is the moment we actually do jump over to Marauders number 12. Now, when we do, we actually pick up with the celebration of Kitty Pryde, or the return of Kitty Pryde. And what I mean is that usually on the island, when it comes to the X-Men, where they are able to bring you back to life, they have a celebration with the entire island. Now, on top of that, you do have Storm ask you one question. How do we know it is you? How can we tell that you are the person you are supposed to be? And so, of course, you're supposed to share one of your favorite memories to prove that you are the person that you are supposed to be. And of course, you do have Kitty Pryde mention something that only her and Storm should know about. And of course, that tells Storm, yes, this is Kitty Pryde. She's here, she's back, and she's finally here once again with all of us. And so, of course, you have the entire island celebrate because Kitty Pryde was able to come back to life. Now, of course, we do pick up with Emma Frost hanging out with Kitty Pryde as they ride horses around the island. And of course, this is Emma Frost just trying to hang out with Kitty Pryde because these two have grown close to one another, which honestly I do like because if you were an X-Men fan growing up, these two characters used to hate one another, especially Kitty Pryde hating on Emma Frost. And so when it came to the Dawn of X era of X-Men comics, to actually see these two characters getting along, it's a huge change for me. And honestly, I like it a lot. But either way, though, you do have Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost hanging out, but that is the moment you have Kitty Pryde ask Emma Frost to show her how in the world Sebastian Shaw killed her, because that is the last thing she does not remember. She has no idea how she died. And so you have Emma Frost show Kitty Pryde how she died, and of course now you have Emma Frost say we must stick to our plan, but apparently Kitty Pryde has a new plan to get revenge against Sebastian Shaw. You have Emma Frost read her mind, and of course whatever plan that Kitty Pryde has, Emma Frost is happy for it, but of course we have no idea what that plan is. And that is the moment we actually do jump over to another party for Kitty Pryde. Now, the first party was really more of Kitty Pryde being welcomed back by the entire nation of the people. Now, with that being said, this party is more of just her close friends. So like Storm, Emma Frost, Nightcrawler, Magic, some of her teammates like Iceman, Pyro, Bishop, and of course Wolverine, who's like a big brother slash father figure to her. But of course, this party does go on for a good period of time. Now, while this party is going on, there is a moment Kitty Pryde actually does run into Sebastian Shaw. And this is huge because Kitty Pryde has to pretend that she has no idea that Sebastian Shaw killed her. And so she has to pretend that she has no idea who killed her, even though she knows it is him. Now, Sebastian Shaw has no idea that Emma Frost and Kitty Pryde know that he was the one that killed Kitty Pryde. And so right now you can tell he's kind of upset with the idea that she was brought back to life because he was hoping that with all the different difficulties Kitty Pryde had on the island, he was hoping that there's no way she could be brought back to life. But of course she was, and of course that makes him very upset. And so you have these two characters kind of mad at one another. But then you have Kitty Pryde as Magic to teleport her somewhere else. And that is the moment we come to find out that Magic had teleported Kitty Pryde over to a random tattoo shop where, of course, you do have Kitty Pryde get some tattoos. Now, of course, most of the tattoos are actually on her hands, are her fingers actually. But either way though, this tattoo is going to spell out something very important. But either way, while Kitty Pryde is getting her tattoo, she of course does flirt with the girl who's putting the tattoos on her hands. But then right after the tattoo is all done, you didn't actually have Kitty Pryde kiss the artist and walk out of the shop. And that is the moment we come to find out what her tattoo says. Her tattoo says, "Kill Shaw." And the book actually ends on that note right there. And guys, the next time we see the Marauders, it is going to be tie into the X of Swords event. But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.